I was looking today for a weird and strange story, just something to change up the day, when I came across a story about a teenage boy named Harry Anderson. This is one of those folklore legends, and I do love this type of stuff. Now, this one comes out of Wisconsin. I think the original story was named The Story of Harry Anderson and the Trolls of Barron County. This story is true, and the writer says that he did research this sighting, with these events happening over 100 years ago, with the story taking place in 1919. It revolves around a young man named Harry Anderson. In the story, the writer stated that the boy was 16, but in some cases he was told that Harry was only 13 years old at the time. The story starts off with the Anderson family deciding to go on a family drive. Harry's father had just gotten a brand new Model T Ford. With it being a summer evening, the family hadn't chosen any fixed destination, so they just would drive around on the back roads while enjoying each other's company. They had been having a great evening, but it was starting to get late, so Harry's father decided that they better start heading home. It was already about 10 o'clock. As the Andersons began their way back home, they were on Highway 25, which at this time of night becomes a very dark and desolate highway, when all of a sudden their vehicle came to a dead stop. Harry's father got out to see what was wrong with the car. As he opened the hood with only the moonlight to see by, he realized that the car was in need of some oil. So with this, he became a little irritated. He went and got a small oil can from the back of the car. Now Harry's father handed him the can and told him to try to find a farmer willing to part with some oil, that he would stay with the rest of the family. So at this time, Harry started heading up the road to see if he could find help. With Harry walking through the darkness, swinging the oil can with his arms as he walked, when he came upon an old sign with worn letters. The sign read, Barron, Wisconsin. Now at this time, Harry realized just how far from home they were, over 60 miles or so. So knowing this, he quickened his steps moving further down the road, when he finally saw a farmhouse. Not wanting to waste any more time, he cut across the field. Not as much known to what happened with the meeting with the farmer, just that Harry was able to get the oil that he needed. Now as Harry started back to his family, he made his way back onto Highway 25. And this is where everything starts to get weird. He noticed something strange moving towards him. Now at this time, it's said that Harry placed the oil can on the ground while straining his eyes trying to get a better look at whatever was heading towards him. What he saw was completely terrifying to him. Moving through the darkness was 20 strange-looking little men. Now terrified, Harry jumped off the road, moving behind a large tree. While hiding, Harry watched these strange little creatures pass him. He was thankful that they didn't notice him behind the tree. He kept quiet and watched with his eyes wide open, not wanting to miss this sight that was occurring right in front of him. Seeing that these little men were in a single file line, while he noticed that their skin was a very pale white, and they all were bald, which was strange to him. While they all had on these strange and crudely fashioned pants, which looked to be made out of old leather that looked to be pieced together, while being held up by thin straps that went over their shoulders, with all of them standing no taller than a young child. He says that the little men was very focused on what they were doing at the time, which seemed to be marching. Harry also thought these small men were talking to each other, so he tried to listen, when all of a sudden all 20 of them broke out into a song, which at this time in the story, I think that the writer of this article said that he said it was bizarre and that he didn't make any of this up. Harry says that he was able to hear the song. Now, as the little troll-like creatures marched on singing, Harry said that it went like this when he was retelling the story. We won't stop fighting till the end of the war in 1994. Sound off, 1, 2. Sound off, 3, 4. Detail, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, the writer said he didn't make this up. Harry said that after the men finished their song, that they went back to talking to each other very quietly. When they came up to some trees next to the road, they kept marching into them and went out of sight. While Harry could still hear them moving through the woods, he didn't move till he couldn't hear them anymore. At that time, he headed back to his family as fast as he could go. His heart was beating wildly, and he was in shock for sure, I would say. When getting back to the car, Harry handed the oil can to his father. Soon they were back on the road again. Harry told his family and father what he had seen, and asked him if he had ever seen 20 short men walking in a single file. But sadly they had not. So did you like this little man sighting? Do you think they might be trolls out there in Wisconsin? I do have to say that this sighting report story is different. So till next time, stay safe and have a great day. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you can keep up with all of our latest videos. And thanks for watching those endless mysteries.